first thing is the balance. Is everybody familiar with the balance or no?
No.
No, right? Okay. So this is a class A balance, and this balance, I'll turn around the balance so you'll have to. So everybody familiar with balance here? No? Okay. There is a dial that says grains and grams. You'll be using grams. There are two sides of a balance. Weight always goes on the right hand side of a class A balance. Weight always goes on the right hand side of a class A balance. Okay? And as you can see here, there is release and arrest. Now, right? It moves. You release it, the balance starts to move. You put it on arrest, it stops. Okay? There is a release button and arrest button. Turn it to release, the balance starts to move. When you put it on arrest, it stops. Okay? Every time you put weights on or you take off weight, you have to put it on arrest. Okay? While you're weighing something, once you put the weights on, then you can always tell it to release. Okay? So my first step is, one student asked me a question, does this needs to be locked? In other words, can it be open or it has to be closed? It depends. It's a good practice to always close it. Okay? And also sometimes there will be air coming from all these air conditions and heater. At that time your balance might start to move. So at that time it's good practice to close the balance. There are two kinds of paper. This is a regular paper, like a printing paper, and there is a wax paper, which do you see wax paper here? This wax paper. For ointment, I will always use wax paper because ointments are sticky. They stick on this paper, and you lose some. Okay, so I'll always use this paper. So my first step is open the balance, fold my paper. I put weights on the right hand side, so it doesn't matter which way I fold my paper. Okay, because I'm not putting anything except my weight on the right hand side. On the left hand side, I am putting my product, right? So I'll make a bow, but I'm not a good artist, but try to be as nice. And then put it on left hand side. These two papers, they don't weigh the same, okay? Right? There will be a little difference, and class A balance will be able to pick it up. So I'll release, and as you can see, it goes all the way on the right hand side. It means my balance is not calibrated. So there are two knobs on the bottom, here and here. Okay? There are two knobs on the bottom, here and here, and I'll move this knob to center my balance. There is a rider in the center. This rider, the red color, has to go on the center. Like once you go on your desk, you will have this balance. So first thing you do is make this rider, the red color rider, try to go right through the center. That's when your balance is calibrated. Okay? That's the first step. Calibrate the balance.
Which side do you calibrate? The heavier side or?
Either side. You see, this can move, this can go clockwise or anti-clockwise. So if it's heavy, you can lift it up. If it's not heavy, you can lower it down. So either way, like you just have to practice and you will be able to figure it out. In other words, you can use this alone and this alone, or both of them together. Okay?
Clockwise, is it raise it up?
Yes.
Clockwise is up.
Yes, clockwise is up. Okay? So imagine I have centered the balance right now. Okay? Actually, I have not. So I'll center it. Okay, so this is centered. This is done. Next step, menthol. How much are we weighing menthol? .5 grams. So 0.5 grams. You all have a balance, right? This balance. I mean the weights, right? In your weights, it starts from 1 gram. Apart from that, it also has this. No, this is not my way. Apart from that, it also contains. It might contain this small weighing thing. Okay, it says 500 milligram, 200 milligram, 100 milligram. You really don't need this because it's on the dial in grams. So 500 milligrams is how many grams? 0.5 grams. Good. So set the dial at 0.5 grams. Then I'll release it. Once I release, I put the weight on the right hand side. So you can see the right hand side goes all the way down. Right? It means weight always goes on the right hand side. Okay? Good? Then, mantle. This is not good weight of doing it. If I'm a proctor, I take one off. So what's a good way? No, while I was taking out, I dropped a couple of crystals. That's not good in the exam. Only I can do it. You cannot. Because I passed. You did. So I'll take a spatula. I'll put my left hand on the knob. Okay. Release. Arrest. I'll add a little bit. Release. It's still not going. In other words, I have to add it enough till it goes to 0. Right? That's when it becomes 0.5 gram. So I'll add. Release. It still goes all right. It means this side is still heavier. I need to add more. So I'll add more. While adding, in other words, right now it says release, right? When it is at release, I cannot add like this. This is directly a points off in your exam. It has to be an arrest. That's why I said the balance always has to be an arrest when you add or take off something from the balance. So imagine this is 0.5 grams, right? This is 0.5 grams. I'm not going to stress much on this. Now, instead of 0.5 gram, if I have access, should I take it and put it back in the container? No. I'll take another piece of paper. This is my garbage. And I'll take the excess, put it in here, and leave it on the side. Okay, I'll not put back in the same container. Okay? But instead of 0.5, don't make a mistake of taking like 5 to 10 grams, right? Use some common sense at the end. So, I have my ointment slab, right? I'll put my menthol on one side. Menthol, camphor. I'll weigh camphor. Every time, another thing important. I use the spatula for menthol. So every time I will wipe it off before I use another ingredient. Okay? Then I'll use camphor. Camphor, how much you need? 0.5. So this is 0.5. Okay, I'm not weighing it. I'll put it on the side next to the menthol. Okay? Again, I'll wipe it. Close the container. Put it on the side. What else do I need? LCD. LCD is what? Liquid or solid? It's a liquid. What's the density of LCD? 1. How many drops you need? It says I think on the bottom. So before, I think you need 30 drops. But before I do anything, let me use the Aquaphor. Aquaphor, I need 47 grams. 47.5 grams, something like that, right? I will never touch my weights by hand. That's one of the most important things, okay? Now, after you finish making your ointment, will your ointment weigh 50 grams exactly? That might be some loss, right? But how much loss is allowed in the exam? 10%. So from 45 to 55. You might have added some excess, or you might have lost something while in the process of making. So I'll put, I need 47.5, so I'll use this tweezer. Put 20, 30, 40, I don't even have 47 in this. Imagine this is 47. Okay, so if I need 47